Hello and welcome to the Tillage Edge with me, Michael Hennessy. This is your regular update for all your tillage news and advice. As you're enjoying the Christmas, your thoughts may be turning to the past year, but also to the year ahead. You may be reflecting on the good and bad points through the year and trying to remember the areas where improvement is needed. Do you know which field performed best last year? Yes, you may remember the highest yield, but did that field leave you the highest margin? Have you compiled any figures for 2022 as yet? Are you able to compare the best or worst fields in 2022 to the best or worst fields in the previous years to see if there's a trend? If you're not able to do this, then how will you be able to put in place the correct measures to rectify these issues? Recording on-farm operations, whether it's fertilizers, pesticides or other inputs, is critical to determine the margin per field or crop. Teagasc have joined forces with Farmplan to increase the level of digital recording by tillage farmers, so I'm delighted to be joined today by Ben Hatton from Farmplan to tell us about his software program and how farmers can avail of this software. Ben, you might first start by telling us a little bit about Farmplan and also about your parent company, ProAgrica.
Farmplan is UK based, but we do have a large customer base in the UK, but also slightly further afield, which does include Ireland and Poland and a few other territories as well. But predominantly, Farmplan specialises in really compliance software focused within the cropping sector. We also cover livestock and accounts in the UK specifically. But very much our bread and butter is ensuring that farmers have got the right software tools to demonstrate compliance, look at crop assurance, really tick the traceability box that many farmers are obligated to do.
Ben, just on it's ProAgrica, am I right in saying that Farmplan is part of? They're a larger entity across the world, are they?
They are indeed, yeah. So Farmplan would be the software business that a lot of our customers in the UK and Ireland would know of. But as you rightly say, that's part of ProAgrica. The reason we're part of ProAgrica is because it includes a lot of agricultural businesses. We have software businesses in the US, but we also have a lot of data and integration functions as well that form part of ProAgrica. A lot of those tools that ProAgrica have are not always customer facing. There are a lot of B2B connections. It's just that Farmplan happens to have the farmer facing tools within the software.
Okay, and Farmplan, that or Gatekeeper, maybe I should say, has been around in Ireland for a long time. How is there many Irish farmers using it, or have they been using it for over that period of time?
Yeah, they have actually. I mean, we've been fortunate enough in the past to have some good agents in Ireland working and representing that farmer audience, and for us, that sort of partnership is key. Gatekeeper has evolved over the years, and we're on our latest generation of the product at the moment. But in terms of the original software, Gatekeeper, that's been in the market for around about 15 years or so, and we have an increasing farmer audience in Ireland who are looking, as I say, to sort of address that compliance traceability box, get on board with a digitized system to keep their crop records in order, but perhaps also looking to get a little bit more out of their crop information and understand profitability as well.
And that Gatekeeper, I suppose, up till recently was a PC-based program, and I suppose certainly listening to some farmers who were using it, it was all-encompassing, I suppose, might be the best word to put it.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, Gatekeeper, when it was conceived over 15 years ago, very much responded to the requests of the day. That was really along the lines of building a quite in-depth crop management system that, as I said, addresses compliance box requirements, but also profitability and also mapping and precision farming. So when it was conceived, it catered for that market very well, and it would be fair to say that would be sort of those farmers who are really trying to sort of push on and get more out of data. What we found, though, listening to our customers over the years, is that there was a particular opportunity for streamlined, lightweight crop recording systems that were purely based in the cloud rather than locally installed on computers. So we've answered that, and over the last few years been pushing on with a cloud version of Gatekeeper, which is going really well.
And that's only a recent thing, only over the last kind of couple of years, is it?
Yeah, very much so. We sort of had a bit of a soft launch with the product over the last few years, certainly picking up customers who vocalized an interest in it beforehand, but we were still listening to particular requirements and also to try and make sure that it was particularly suited for the various geographies that Gatekeeper Cloud operates in.
So for that Gatekeeper Cloud product that's there, and I suppose it does what it says in tin, it is on the internet. It developed out of the UK, but how suitable is that for Irish farms and Irish circumstances?
Very suitable. As I said, we've always had a close relationship with the Irish market, and we've understood the requirements of Irish farmers, and certainly how the industry has changed and evolved over there. And in many ways, the requirements are fairly similar to that in the UK. However, there are distinct differences. So, for example, in the UK, we have our crop protection products aligned with map numbers. In our Irish products and Gatekeeper, when it's deployed in Ireland, we ensure that we have PCS product lists that are available for our tillage farmers to select the appropriate crop protection product that they're using on their farm. And there's also some other subtle differences within the program that ensure that when address details are set up, for example, they're doing so using air code as opposed to postcode in the UK. And we also have specific references to the land parcel identification system that's used in Ireland.
Okay, all very good stuff. So there are a number of Irish farmers existingly using the Gatekeeper Cloud system.
They are actually, yeah, and we're finding that the product is particularly suited for that market due to the scalability of the product in terms of the hectareage that you can record on the system, but also its ease of use, its price point, and the fact that it is cloud-based. So it means it's got a lot more flexibility and doesn't quite rely on the same sort of hardware infrastructure in the office as the previous product would have done.
Okay, so when a farmer signs up to Gatekeeper Cloud, how long does it take for the farmer to get up and running and get to the point where, God, I just want to be able to put in, I'm after sowing a crop of wheat and I want to put in that the first thing I'm after doing to it is I'm after putting on a dose of Defy and another herbicide with an aphicide. How long does it take for that to actually happen?
I mean, in principle, it doesn't take too long at all. I mean, yes, there is a degree of setting the system up, ensuring that the fields and farm are created, setting up some of those key products that will be used on the crops that season, detailing the machines, the implements, and a few operators. The stress is that you don't actually have to do all of it at once. For example, if you're just establishing your winter cropping, then set those fields up as appropriate, and bring the other fields and set those up online as and when there's a requirement to do so. The answer is it doesn't take too long, a little bit of investment to make sure the fields are set up correctly and everything's good to go. But I mean, normally within a few days, farmers are, after spending a few hours just setting the system up, are already actively recording information into the system. And that's information that the farmers are actually entering directly themselves, let alone any possible recommendations that are coming in from their agronomists, which can help speed up some of that integration and recording.
Sure, we'll get to that in a second, but go back to the farmer again in terms of the farmer setting up the system. How is the data entered? Is it entered on a PC or a tablet, or is it possible to do it by a mobile phone? What's the starting point?
Okay, so the Gatekeeper Cloud interface is optimized for a PC, a laptop, or a tablet. And what happens is when you get set up with the program, you get, as a farmer, the ability to set up your log-on credentials. And once you've got those log-on credentials established, you can use those on any device that you've got. Simply log out, move on to the next device, and off you go. What we find is a lot of customers tend to access the main program just on a laptop, but we do have customers who just purely access the whole program from a tablet as well. Alongside the main program, there's an accompanying app that comes with the product free of charge, and that allows a very quick and easy way of completing recommendation plans in the field to be signed off. So in principle, you've got the right tools at the right place. In the office, you've got the information you need to put data in there, run reports, set up cropping, and have a look at the relevant information pertinent to the farm. In the field, we provide access to the issued work plans and those recommendations ready for the operators to complete off. So it's, if you like, optimizing the experience. And that app will work on a tablet or a smartphone as well. Doesn't have to be Apple, but a lot of our customers tend to have those devices already.
Okay. And you mentioned there a second ago something about the advisor interacting with the program to send recommendations. How does that work?
Okay, so so what we find is that a lot of the customers who use Gatekeeper do so because they've got that advice channel coming in from their agronomist. And if they're also using Gatekeeper, those recommendations created by the agronomist can be sent electronically directly into the Gatekeeper cloud system. The advantage for both parties is that speeds up the communication process. It reduces some of that double data entry burden, and it also removes any potential errors as well. And it also means that then the grower, the farmer, if you will, has got the information ready to just quickly review and then go out and apply the products as recommended, knowing that when they've completed those records, they're updating their master farm management system. So a lot of it is around streamlining the processes, increasing the value between the advisor and farmer relationship, and just making sure that communication is optimized wherever possible.
And as far as I know, without naming names, but as far as I know, there's quite a number of fairly large entities over here, co-ops and so forth over here, who actually have the Gatekeeper agronomists set up and are kind of using it already. So it's probably it's already in the infrastructure as far as I'm aware. But going back to you mentioned reports, and when a farmer puts in the information, you know, if I'm anything like some of the farmers out there, I kind of like to see what I'm after putting in terms of a report. How quickly can reports be printed back out of the system again?
Fairly quickly, and the beauty of running a system like Gatekeeper, unlike pen and paper or spreadsheets, is that once the information's within the actual Gatekeeper software, it just takes a click of a button to select the appropriate report, and then the system will then surface the right information as appropriate. So, for example, if you're looking to just understand a field audit, look at what's actually happened, there's a specific report for that, and it will scoop up as much information as in the system. So therefore, as you start to use the system as a farmer, you don't have to build the whole season's record in order to start generating reports. Once you start putting the information into the system, the reports will automatically scoop up the information that's there, so they can expand and keep on developing. Conversely, if you're looking to get a cost analysis report out of the system, Gatekeeper will then look at the appropriate data sets, tie those values into the operations, and allow someone to quickly produce that report, either emailing that out of the system, saving it as a PDF. The other really important thing to just sort of mention, though, is because it's cloud-based and because the interface is nice and streamlined, and because access is available from many locations, that in its first instance is a reporting. Just being able to actually use the interface, select filters, select the appropriate tabs against the field records to display the information, even provide access to other third parties involved with the business. That allows, you know, instant recording and reporting, let alone producing PDF reports. And we have a few in the system to cater for different end requirements, whether it's for compliance or audit inspections, or whether it's starting to look at management information on the farm.
So Ben, you mentioned in terms of compliance reports, the reports that come back out of the system, they're good enough to be used with the likes of a Department of Agriculture inspection, are they?
Yeah, exactly. And what we've been doing is, sort of when we conceived the product, we looked at the requirements in the market. We actually did quite a lot of work with our agent at the time to make sure that the product was suitable. So we had quite a long lead in to make sure that the product was not only suitable for the market, but actually allowing farmers to get out the information that they needed to. And we keep evolving and listening to feedback as well. If anything changes in the future, which I'm sure it will do, then we were able to respond and ensure that our customers are able to use the product and use the information within their system to demonstrate their compliance.
Okay, so I suppose to get to the crunch point of it, both Teagasc and yourselves, we've entered into a bit of a partnership to encourage more farmers to start recording their information digitally at a low cost entry point. You might describe to our listeners what sort of an offer is available to tillage clients at the moment.
Yes, we touched on the partnership earlier, and for us, that is really important to make sure that we're working with local representatives on the ground who have a good ear with the customers and who understand what their requirements are. And in recognition of that, what we've been pleased to roll out with Teagasc is a 3-year discounted deal for farmers who are looking to sign up for the product. The normal retail price, I mean, it starts around about sort of €500, give or take a little bit. But what we've been pleased to offer is a 50% discount on that price for year 1. And that increases or slides up, I should say. So there's 35% discount in year 2, 20% discount in year 3. And that means that a farmer joining in year 1 can benefit from that arrangement that we've got with Teagasc. It also means that if a farmer's not quite ready to make the jump but decides to join onto the program in a few years' time, they also benefit from that same discount rating as well.
Okay, yeah. Look, I think it's a fantastic entry point. It's as you say, it's a very low cost entry point for somebody to have a go, have a look at it, and I think it's a brilliant place to start. I suppose the other part about it that farmers might be just a little bit concerned about is if it's brand new like that, how much support is available for farmers when they first start and diving into the software, and how do they get access to that support?
I mean, support really is sort of our backbone as a company. I mean, it's one of the reasons we employ over 5 times as many support team as we do our commercial team. And for our customers across the board, the support elements that Farmplan offers is second to none and very highly valued. Support really sort of encompasses many different areas. I mean, we have a dedicated telephone support team. They're based in the UK, but they cover and understand the requirements in the different territories that gatekeepers used. And every customer has access to that dedicated telephone support team. As well as that, we have in-program help, and we also have an intercom service that allows that live chat function that many customers are starting to really benefit from. Furthermore, we also have an e-learning platform, which is something we've introduced over the last few years. And in actual fact, the whole COVID situation has accelerated that. And this is really to allow farmers to take on some bite-sized training that's free of charge, available from our website, and to take that training at a time that suits them. Perhaps it's at the weekend or maybe in the evening after a busy day's work. If they're just looking for that extra bit of impetus to an understanding to get more out of the system, there's some resources available. If none of that takes the or addresses the requirement, we also have dedicated training from our training team, whether that's via remote training methods such as Microsoft Teams or anything else, or we can even do that face to face. So there's a sort of sliding scale of support mechanism in place.
So Ben, look, that's brilliant. It seems like a huge amount of options there for farmers in terms of trying to learn how to use the software in the first place, and hopefully if a farmer decides to sign up to it, they shouldn't be stuck in terms of at least getting started and getting up and running.
No, exactly. And, I think it's also important to mention, I mean, yes, we like selling software, but most importantly, we like happy customers that can get more out of the system that they've got installed on their farm.
Brilliant, Ben. Look, that's brilliant. Just for any farmers who are interested, and I know people are listening to us between Christmas and New Year's. So if you are interested in it, look, send an email to your local advisor, or send a WhatsApp or text message for your advisor to give you a shout after Christmas. So you remember just to do a few more inquiries about it. But Ben, just a final thing, there's more information on your website that people can have a look at some of the videos and bits and pieces around it, is there? Because there certainly is a little bit on the Teagasc website as well around it.
There is indeed, yeah. So www.farmplan.co.uk. On there is a specific section within our cropping category, and that's where there are some information, leaflets and videos specifically around Gatekeeper and Gatekeeper Cloud.
Ben, that's brilliant. Thanks very much for your time. Delighted you could join us. And look, we might touch base again in the new year as some of the questions roll in from some of the people we're dealing with around Gatekeeper. Thanks again, Ben.
You're welcome. Nice joining you.
So that's it for this week, and my thanks to Ben for joining me in the podcast. Don't forget to write an email or text message and send it now to your advisor to express an interest, so that you can both follow up in the new year to see if the program is suitable for you. Thanks for listening all year and joining the hundreds of people who are listening to this podcast each week. I want to wish you a very happy new year, and hoping 2023 will be as profitable as 2022. Don't forget, if you enjoyed the podcast, then recommend it to a friend or colleague, and as always, rate, review and follow on Apple Podcasts or Spotify so you never miss an episode. And for more information, go to teagasc.ie. I'm Michael Hennessy, thanks for listening, and I'll be back next week with more tillage news and advice.